Who's that?
That's your nephew, Archie.
You're pulling my leg. Why have we not met before?
You've met him like 1,000 times.
What matters is what we have on the inside.
You know, I've had enough of you. First that thing at lunch, and now this?
What happened at lunch? Shouldn't you know?
Yeah, come on, honey. We don't need this place. Honey?
Picture this. You're scrolling through late-night television, half asleep, when a 5-second clip flashes across your screen. No dialogue, no obvious identifiers, just an animated mega yacht floating on crimson waves near what looks suspiciously like a cartoon version of Montecito. One shadowy figure lounges near the bow with a pink drink in hand, while another, red-haired and frantic, dog paddles desperately in the water behind the vessel. That's all it took. Within hours, the internet had connected the dots, and what started as an innocent animation clip became the most explosive entertainment controversy of the year. The yacht wasn't just a prop, it was a weapon, loaded with years of whispered allegations and aimed directly at one of the most controversial couples in modern celebrity culture. The teaser appeared without warning during a routine Comedy Central late-night block, buried so deep in their programming that most viewers would have missed it
I'm sure it's wonderful, darling, and only sounds shitty.
Yeah, thanks.
entirely. But someone was watching, someone was waiting. And the moment that yacht appeared on screen, the digital wildfire began. Social media accounts with minimal followers suddenly found themselves posting viral screenshots. Private Discord servers erupted with side-by-side comparisons to previous controversial episodes. Content creators raced to overlay trending audio tracks, slowing down dramatic quotes, and syncing champagne cork pops to the yacht's gentle bobbing motion. The beauty of the whole thing? Nobody had to explain who it was supposed to represent. The symbolism spoke for itself, and within 12 hours, hashtags were trending across 5 different platforms simultaneously. The internet had collectively decided that this wasn't just another animated gag. This was cultural warfare disguised as comedy. What makes this particularly fascinating
On Suits, I was a series regular. I was Rachel Zane, attorney at law.
is how quickly the narrative spiraled beyond simple entertainment. Memes multiplied at an unprecedented rate, each one more cutting than the last. One showed an animated brunette holding binoculars, searching desperately for relevance. Another, perhaps more brutal, labeled the floating vessel the SS Deflection, while a miniature cartoon prince clung to a life preserver marked Still Spare. The humor wasn't subtle, but then again, it never is when satire meets celebrity culture head-on. The moment that yacht came into view, the message became crystal clear. This wasn't the end of anything. It was just the beginning of what could be the most savage animated takedown in television history. Entertainment bloggers immediately recognized the cultural significance. One industry insider joked that the clip had probably set crisis management teams across Hollywood on high alert. Another suggested that this yacht scene might not even represent the most damaging content planned for the upcoming episode. Because if early reports are accurate, and leaked storyboard concepts have indeed started circulating in certain online communities, this new installment is targeting the most sensitive piece of celebrity gossip mythology in recent memory. We're talking about allegations that have allegedly haunted one particular public figure for years.
What the hell?
What did he just say? He victimized me. It's because I'm an ethnic woman.
The kind of whispers that populate blind item blogs, anonymous forums, and buried search suggestions. The yacht narrative represents more than just satirical commentary. It's cultural defiance, as if the writers are practically daring their targets to respond, to threaten legal action, to try shutting down the conversation entirely. But here's where things get really interesting. Some fans believe the leak wasn't accidental at all. Theory has it that someone inside the production deliberately dropped the teaser to test public reaction, to gauge how much controversy they could generate before the full episode premiere. If that's true, then what we've seen so far might just be the appetizer for something far more devastating. By the time most people were having their morning coffee, damage control teams were allegedly in full crisis mode. Multiple sources suggest that internal communications lit up like Christmas trees within minutes of the teaser going viral. Staff members reportedly flooded emergency channels with variations of the same panicked questions. Is this real? How bad is this going to get? Do we respond immediately or wait to see how far it spreads? But by the time formal crisis meetings were scheduled, it was already too late. The memes had reached mainstream newsrooms, the narrative had escaped any possibility of containment, and the most radioactive rumor in modern celebrity gossip
He can't do that! I'll see. Wait, you're ethnic? This is an outrage! We'll just see how he deals with my blue
had been dragged back into the spotlight for millions to see and share. According to insiders familiar with the situation, that morning's emergency call included at least 3 senior public relations strategists, a media lawyer, and 2 outside branding consultants who had been brought in specifically to help navigate ongoing image challenges. One of these advisors, allegedly a veteran crisis manager with experience handling embattled corporate executives, reportedly suggested getting ahead of the joke entirely. Their recommendation? Laugh along with the internet, post something self-deprecating, lean into the humor before it completely swallows the brand whole. Not everyone agreed with this strategy.
Don't worry, my love. He's not gonna get away with this.
According to sources briefed on the internal discussions, the suggestion of brushing off the controversy was met with fierce resistance. This wasn't just another punchline, the argument went. This was a personal attack designed to resurrect the most damaging allegations possible. The concern was that ignoring the situation would signal surrender, that refusing to respond might be interpreted as weakness, or, worse, as validation of the underlying rumors. The emergency call reportedly lasted nearly 2 hours and ended without any clear consensus. Some team members pushed for a soft rebuttal through allied media outlets, perhaps a carefully placed article reminding readers that these were baseless internet rumors rooted in sexism and classism. Others floated the nuclear option, issuing formal legal warnings to the parent company behind the animated series. But this is where the panic collided head-on with recent history.
So nice to have you back in London, Meghan. I've missed our little lunches.
We've never had lunch together, Kate.
Well, we must continue the tradition.
Similar legal threats had been made before, and rather than shutting down the conversation, they had only amplified it, transforming crude cartoon humor into international headlines and legitimate news stories. This new teaser was arguably even more damaging because it didn't need words or explicit references, just visual symbolism that let viewers draw their own conclusions. The real problem, one advisor allegedly pointed out, wasn't just what might appear in the upcoming episode. It was the timing. After years of rebuilding efforts, launching product lines, signing lifestyle deals, and slowly re-entering entertainment spaces that had grown cold, a viral controversy like this could stall everything. Investors might get spooked, media allies might distance themselves, and once a meme reaches critical mass, there's simply no putting it back in the bottle. Then came what might be the most intriguing development of all. Hours after the crisis call concluded, a brief audio clip surfaced online. In it, a woman's voice, calm but unmistakably tense, can be heard saying, "We either control this narrative or we get completely swallowed by it." Social media users immediately began speculating about the voice's identity, though no official confirmation has emerged. What's particularly interesting is that if the recording is authentic, it suggests someone from that private call was already leaking information to the public.
It has been several months now since our beloved queen has died. Our Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the prince and his wife.
For those unfamiliar with the cultural background here, the term yacht girl might sound like meaningless internet slang, but in certain online communities, it represents something much more significant. A decades-old whisper campaign that has taken on almost mythological status. These allegations first began circulating years before any royal marriages or lifestyle brands entered the picture, back when the subject was still a relatively unknown actress, supplementing her income with calligraphy and lifestyle blogging. The core allegation, never confirmed and consistently denied, centers around claims that she spent time on exclusive Mediterranean yachts as a guest of billionaires and shadowy entertainment industry intermediaries. The implication wasn't that these were innocent vacation trips, but rather that they were part of a secretive transactional social scene that many aspiring performers allegedly navigated before landing their breakthrough opportunities. It's the kind of rumor that thrives in the shadowy corners of the internet, blind item blogs, conspiracy-adjacent forums, private message threads where speculation flows freely. Never proven, always denied, but once heard, these stories tend to stick in people's minds and resurface at the most inconvenient moments. That's exactly what makes the animated series' latest visual reference so potentially explosive. They didn't just include a yacht as background scenery. They deployed it as a symbol, a provocation wrapped in cartoon waves and colorful cocktails. And according to industry insiders, the teaser we've seen doesn't represent even half of what's allegedly planned for the full episode.
You know what else? To hell with Canada! We are leaving! We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people! Come on, wife!
Leaked descriptions from what appears to be an internal storyboard presentation describe an entire sequence titled Below Deck Montecito. In this rumored segment, the cartoon version of the Duchess character, unnamed but unmistakable, allegedly orders around a crew of fawning assistants, tosses NDA-stamped cocktail napkins off the stern, and refers to herself as a, quote, global brand icon with flexible values. One animator, posting anonymously to a private online forum, claimed the yacht segment was nicknamed the Forbidden Reel inside the studio because the legal department had flagged it as extremely risky from day one. Yet they animated it anyway, which raises the obvious question: why take such a massive risk? Why resurrect the one allegation that has reportedly cost enormous amounts of time and money to suppress over the years? According to a longtime contributor to the animated series, the answer is surprisingly straightforward: escalation.
How many more princes and his wives have to live in this nightmare?
You can only parody a brand reboot so many times before it becomes repetitive, this person allegedly told a private online group. Eventually, you have to go deeper into the mythology, the stuff they really don't want anyone talking about. If that quote is genuine, and fans have already begun analyzing its phrasing against previous scripts for authenticity, then we're not watching traditional satirical comedy anymore. We're witnessing what amounts to a systematic demolition project, one that's using blueprints pulled directly from the darkest corners of celebrity gossip culture. Here's what makes this even more fascinating. Audiences seem to absolutely love it. Content creators have already started producing dramatic reenactments of the leaked scene descriptions, casting lookalikes in parody yacht scenarios. Online communities are remixing the teaser frame with archival paparazzi photographs from years past.
Oh, you're hilarious, Meghan. Why did you move back here anyway? It was ultimately a tough call, but there were a lot of factors to consider.
One viral post captured the mood perfectly. This isn't character assassination anymore. It's mythology being retold in high definition. And if what we've seen is just the tip of the iceberg, what's hiding below the surface might be even more devastating. Behind the scenes, legal teams across the entertainment industry aren't laughing. As the teaser spread across social media platforms and triggered a full-scale meme explosion, entertainment lawyers in both Los Angeles and London reportedly began exchanging cautious emails, flagging the episode's potential to reopen one of the
Several months now since our beloved Queen has died. Our Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife.
The last time these particular public figures were targeted by animated satire, things got complicated quickly. Within 48 hours of that previous episode airing, multiple British media outlets reported that legal consultations were underway over potential defamation claims, while other sources suggested that regulatory complaints were being prepared. No formal lawsuit ever materialized, but the firestorm made one thing absolutely clear. Certain lines had been crossed that weren't going to be ignored. Now it appears those same lines are being crossed again. But this time, the crossing might be entirely intentional. According to one entertainment law insider, the parent company's legal department anticipated significant blowback from the yacht segment and greenlit it anyway. They ran comprehensive parody defense scenarios 6 months ago. This source alleged everything was reviewed: visual likeness, dialogue, symbolism, the entire package. They knew exactly what kind of reaction they were courting. Another insider went even further, claiming the studio is actually banking on the controversy. They want legal threats to be made, this person suggested. It would double their ratings overnight. They know it, the targets know it, everybody in the industry knows it.
There were highs and lows. It's all good. Anyway, see you guys at tea. Come on, Harry.
If that's accurate, it paints the teaser not just as satirical entertainment, but as carefully constructed bait, lawyer-approved, and designed to provoke exactly the kind of public meltdown that can't be purchased with any advertising budget. What makes this situation different from previous controversies is how openly the legal implications are being discussed this time around. British tabloids have already published editorial pieces urging restraint and suggesting that legal action would only amplify the very content it seeks to suppress. American media lawyers have weighed in on cable news programs, mostly defending the animated series' right to lampoon public figures under established First Amendment protections. But it's not just American law that's relevant here. A London-based media firm with alleged connections to royal family litigation
How many more princes and his wives have to live in this nightmare?
has reportedly been reviewing footage, according to multiple independent sources. Nobody's saying exactly why, and no names have been officially attached, but speculation is already intense. Could there be quiet consideration of legal backup? Not necessarily to defend the targets of the satire, but to protect the broader monarchy from potential future fallout? Because here's the fear that's quietly circulating in certain elite circles. Not that immediate legal action will be taken, but that the animated series will keep pushing boundaries. That the yacht scene represents just the opening salvo of a broader campaign that might eventually target other sensitive stories, historical controversies, family scandals, even the carefully protected public personas of other royal family members. The original targets might serve as the entry point, but satirical momentum doesn't stop once the creative floodgates open. That's what has some insiders whispering that the immediate subjects aren't the only ones with reason to be concerned. The palace itself may be maintaining public silence, but behind closed doors, contingency plans are reportedly being developed.
And please stop sending me samples.
I hear you, Andy. I'll amp it up. I'll smash a wine glass. I'll tell Kyle she has Munchausen syndrome. I'll accuse Dorit of doing coke.
Because if this episode goes where some fear it might, the collateral damage could extend far beyond its primary targets. By the time the sun was fully up over California, the internet was completely ablaze. Content creators were splicing the yacht teaser with clips from past interviews, soundtracking everything from pop hits to slowed-down speech excerpts. Fan accounts had rebranded the cartoon Duchess as Captain Spin and created mock trailers for fake reality show crossovers. The memes were relentless, the video edits were savage, and they were absolutely everywhere. There was no containing the cultural moment. Hashtags dominated search trends across multiple countries simultaneously. On various online forums, users were dissecting the angle of animated sun hats, matching them frame by frame to old paparazzi photographs. Another thread compared animated...
Yeah, we're hoping the ketchups and mustards are going to be sold at Whole Foods, which, would be huge. Oh, and they're all organic in case anyone was wondering.
We weren't.
Just like that, what started as internet humor became something much more serious. A full-scale reputation crisis. Because when jokes start interfering with legitimate business strategy, professional consultants take notice. Multiple marketing analysts confirmed that this kind of viral mockery can absolutely torpedo luxury partnerships. Once your public image becomes associated with widespread ridicule, especially ridicule tied to authenticity questions or status inflation, it becomes exponentially harder to sell aspiration, one expert explained. Consumers don't want to purchase products from someone who's become a punchline. They want to feel elite, sophisticated. Satirical memes break that spell entirely. That spell was already fragile to begin with. Recent lifestyle brand launches, heavily marketed around wellness, empowerment, and curated luxury aesthetics, were barely gaining traction in competitive markets. But according to multiple insiders, post-teaser, at least one major lifestyle partner began quietly re-evaluating future collaborations. Another source claims that a European branding agency previously in advanced negotiations to expand product lines into high-end travel accessories suddenly went completely silent. No returned emails, no follow-up communications whatsoever. When asked directly whether this radio silence was connected to the animated controversy, one source simply shrugged. Nobody wants to say it explicitly, but of course it is. Who wants to be associated with a brand that's actively being mocked by millions of people?
Hi, I'm Meghan Markle.
And I'm Harry. Harry.
And we're royally screwed.
This represents a fundamentally different kind of crisis than traditional tabloid scandals or poorly timed paparazzi shots. This is cultural, pervasive, sticky, and accessible to anyone with an internet connection. The yacht symbolism, however unconfirmed and unverifiable, has now been rendered in the most democratic visual medium possible: adult animation that anyone can watch, share, and remix. When the most viral joke of the week involves cartoon royalty being sprayed with sunscreen by drone aircraft, it becomes virtually impossible to hold press conferences about dignity and sophisticated brand positioning. Making matters significantly worse, an alleged voice recording began circulating late in the week. In it, a woman whose identity remains unconfirmed can be heard saying, "They think this is just entertainment, but I'm telling you, this is pure sabotage." The clip was posted by a celebrity gossip account and immediately went viral. Supporters claimed it was taken completely out of context, while critics characterized it as evidence of a complete meltdown. No official confirmation either way, but one thing became crystal clear: the internet wasn't finished laughing yet. While crisis management teams allegedly scrambled behind the scenes, the other half of the celebrity couple reportedly went into complete lockdown mode. According to sources close to longtime friends, he's been barely responding to messages and appearing visibly agitated during private video calls. Another, more pointed rumor suggests that recent private communications include a single desperate question repeated multiple times: "Can we actually sue a cartoon again?" That phrasing itself became a meme within hours of leaking. And suddenly the prince wasn't just a background figure in the yacht parody, he had become the punchline himself. The brutal irony is that he spent years trying to craft an identity separate from royal machinery and tabloid circus atmosphere. But in moments like this, he ends up right back in the center of the media storm he's been trying to escape. Unlike carefully orchestrated interviews or professionally edited documentary series, this animated version sticks in people's minds precisely because it feels emotionally true to many viewers. It's exaggerated, certainly, but the core characterization, the helpless husband, the public relations puppet, the spare heir clinging to titles while simultaneously rejecting the system that created them, resonates with public perception in ways that carefully managed content simply can't.
We couldn't get jobs and we ran out of money. We ate chicken out of bowls and rode in big cars full of smelly people to something called work. Every day was a new nightmare.
The animated series didn't just mock him. They froze him in a cartoon version of the exact narrative he's been desperately trying to outgrow. According to people who claim to have known him long before the headlines and controversies, it's starting to take a genuine psychological toll. One insider who allegedly attended a recent Montecito charity dinner said he seemed distracted, withdrawn, and clearly not in on the cultural joke that was being made at his expense. Another claimed his wife was working the room while he hovered near the bar, politely nodding but rarely speaking or engaging meaningfully with other guests. It tracks with a larger pattern. Every time their public image starts to stabilize, another cultural gut punch seems to knock them completely off course. Streaming platform controversies, animated satire, yacht rumors, meme spirals. It's no longer just about public perception management. It's about personal psychological erosion. What's potentially worse is that this time, the alleged tension isn't just external pressure from media and public opinion. Insiders suggest there's growing friction between the couple about how to handle the crisis. She reportedly wants to fight back publicly, forcefully, legally if necessary. He's allegedly pulling back, not because he's indifferent to the attacks, but because he's genuinely exhausted by the constant cycle of controversy and response. One source claimed he's completely over the battles and just wants it all to stop. If that's accurate, it's a chilling echo of their royal family years. The same push and pull between retreat and retaliation, except now there's no institutional structure to absorb the damage. Just the two of them, a lifestyle brand, a product line labeled validation, and literally billions of memes. Fans have started noticing the public silence too. No official statements, no sources close to the couple firing back through friendly media outlets, just mounting satirical content, fresh captions, and social media timelines drowning in pink wine emojis. She may be plotting a counterattack, but he looks like he's already surrendered. And if that's the case, what happens when he decides not to play the public relations game at all anymore?
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines?
Across the Atlantic, things weren't much calmer. Buckingham Palace may pride itself on maintaining dignified silence during controversies, but don't be fooled. When the yacht teaser hit global social media, the reaction behind closed doors was far from indifferent. According to multiple royal correspondents, senior palace staff were immediately briefed on the situation. One insider claimed Prince William was informed about the cartoon clip before his morning coffee had even cooled. Not because the monarchy feared immediate legal complications, but because of something far more subtle: reputational drift. A Sussex scandal is one thing, but when satirical ridicule reaches this level of cultural saturation, it has a tendency to bleed across the entire royal brand. As much as the institution has tried to publicly distance itself from post-royal theatrics, the family titles remain intact. The genealogical connections haven't changed, and every time animated sketches throw another punch, whether at Montecito influencers, crying cartoon babies, or yacht-sailing duchesses, audiences are reminded that this particular circus originally began inside palace walls. According to one prominent royal biographer, that's what has senior family members genuinely worried. The more the Sussexes spiral in public, she explained, the more average viewers start questioning the entire system that created and enabled them in the first place. But not everyone at the palace is reportedly wringing their hands over the situation. Some staff members, particularly those aligned with Queen Camilla's faction, allegedly found the cartoon parody darkly hilarious. One source even claimed the Queen consort let out an audible chuckle during a private briefing, reportedly describing the yacht scene as vulgar but richly deserved. That comment, if authentic, never made it into any of...
And please stop sending me samples.
I hear you, Andy. I'll amp it up. I'll smash a wine glass. I'll tell Kyle she has Munchausen syndrome. I'll accuse Dorit of doing coke.
The overall institutional strategy remains consistent. Say nothing, appear unbothered, and let tabloid media outlets handle any heavy lifting that might be required. But behind palace walls, contingency planning is absolutely real. Communications teams are reportedly reviewing upcoming public engagements with extra scrutiny, double-checking that no senior royals will be photographed anywhere near rosé wine or yacht-adjacent backdrops for the foreseeable future. They're not going to add fuel to the satirical fire, one palace staffer explained, but they're also not going to accidentally wander into the splash zone. It's worth noting that some palace observers have begun shifting their private tone about the Sussex situation. In confidential WhatsApp groups frequented by royal reporters, there's been quiet speculation that the monarchy might eventually need to draw sharper boundaries between itself and the Sussex brand, especially if animated parodies continue escalating. Not through dramatic title stripping, which would create its own media war, but through subtle changes in protocol, representation, and public language. A symbolic uncoupling of sorts, the kind that signals without explicitly stating, they are no longer operationally part of this institution. If that moment does arrive, you can be certain that satirical writers will be watching with sharpened pencils and fresh storyboard jokes ready to deploy. While the palace maintained its traditional silence and crisis management teams weighed damage control options, another front quietly began fracturing: the carefully constructed lifestyle brand empire that had been built from the ground up over the past several years. Because behind every podcast episode, every streaming deal, every product launch with embossed labels is a business model. And when that business is fundamentally built on public image and aspirational lifestyle marketing, satirical attacks can be absolutely fatal.
Hey, thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
According to multiple branding consultants, the yacht teaser didn't just dent public perception, it cracked the commercial foundation. The numbers started shifting almost immediately. Google search volume for lifestyle brand products reportedly dropped by 30% within 72 hours of the teaser surfacing. Social media engagement metrics dipped significantly. Newsletter unsubscribe rates spiked across multiple platforms. Then came the whispers from inside partnership pipelines. One lifestyle public relations agency that had previously been promoting its alignment with timeless femininity meets modern activism aesthetic went completely dark. Another firm, which had reportedly been in advanced negotiations to co-launch a capsule kitchenware line under the Sussex brand umbrella, allegedly paused the entire project indefinitely. When asked for clarification, an anonymous industry source summarized the situation in a single devastating sentence: "Nobody wants to get memed into commercial irrelevance." Then came the leak that confirmed everyone's worst fears. Late on a Friday afternoon, a private recording surfaced from what appeared to be a brand strategy conference call. The audio, grainy but unmistakably authentic, was posted to a celebrity gossip forum and rapidly shared across social media platforms. In it, a male voice, allegedly one of the key marketing consultants, can be heard saying, "We either distance ourselves from the yacht joke immediately, or this entire commercial operation collapses before the fourth quarter." The context remained vague, but the tone was pure panic. While the clip was quickly removed from most platforms, it had already accomplished its devastating purpose, confirming what everyone had been speculating about behind closed doors. Even her own professional team was bracing for complete commercial collapse. That same weekend, an alleged former brand partner, whose identity remains protected, posted a now viral thread on social media. In it, they described their brief experience working with the lifestyle brand development team. The tone was diplomatically cautious, but the message was unmistakable. The brand operation was obsessed with image management, completely allergic to any form of satirical.
Thanks. Okay, see you later. Oh, would you pick up some milk?
One line from that thread stood out more than any other. They spent more resources scrubbing the internet than actually building the product line. You simply cannot sell serenity while simultaneously screaming into the digital void. If even half of that assessment is accurate, the Sussex rebrand isn't just struggling, it's actively unraveling. Not because of poor product quality or market underperformance, but because of something far less controllable: widespread, sticky, shareable laughter that spreads faster than any official statement could ever hope to contain. With the full animated episodes still days away from airing, this commercial devastation may represent only the opening act of a much larger business catastrophe. Somewhere in Colorado, the writing team behind the animated series was reportedly having the time of their lives. That's the exact phrase one entertainment industry source used, "having the time of their lives," to describe the mood as social media exploded over a 5-second teaser clip. Because from the moment the yacht frame dropped, everyone involved knew there was significantly more content coming. The teaser wasn't the punchline, it was just lighting the fuse. According to multiple insiders connected to the production pipeline, the creative team behind this episode didn't just expect this level of cultural chaos, they specifically engineered it with surgical precision. They knew exactly what kind of reaction they were going to get, one source explained. The yacht material is just the opening act. What's coming next might be even more culturally explosive. A now-deleted social media post from an assistant storyboard artist, published barely 48 hours after the teaser went viral, simply read, "No mercy for privilege. Tuesday's gonna be absolutely wild." The post was removed within an hour, but not before it was screenshotted and reposted across multiple platforms and gossip channels.
Why are we so mad today?
Because we want our privacy.
Fans of the animated series, long accustomed to these breadcrumb-style insider leaks, pounced immediately. The phrase "no mercy for privilege" has since become a rallying cry, and many believe it hints at satirical content that goes far deeper than anything previously attempted. Whispers from inside the animation studio suggest that the final cut includes a barrage of brutal celebrity cameos, most of which never appeared in the teaser or any of the early leaked materials. Allegedly, there's an Oprah-inspired character who video calls the cartoon Duchess from a gold-plated spa facility, warning her to, quote, "reclaim the narrative before you get recast in real time." Another rumored scene shows a Tyler Perry-inspired figure ducking under a table while surveillance drones explode around a faux Montecito estate labeled Privacy Mansion. But the most controversial alleged sequence, if it actually made it to the final cut, might be a brief flash of a framed portrait aboard the cartoon yacht, Princess Diana, animated and winking directly at viewers. Let's pause here for a moment. That detail, if authentic, crosses into territory so culturally sensitive that it makes previous satirical episodes look almost gentle by comparison. Using Diana's likeness, even in animated parody form, isn't just creatively risky, it's potentially explosive on an international scale. Her legacy has remained largely protected from animated satirical treatment, especially in shows with this kind of global reach and cultural bite. If this rumor—
Anyway, Meghan, you were saying Dorit's such a what?
What? No, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything, Dorit.
Well, I heard it somewhere.
Inside the network, executives are reportedly preparing for viewership numbers that could rival the most watched episodes in the series' history. Meanwhile, legal departments review final edits, publicists brace for impact, and fans across the globe count down the hours until the satirical bomb finally detonates. Because if the yacht scene was merely setup material, what's coming next might blow the entire ship, and everyone aboard to pieces. The countdown has officially ended. The air date is locked and loaded. The most anticipated animated episode in years is set to broadcast, and industry insiders claim every single second has been crafted for maximum cultural impact. Streaming platforms are already bracing for traffic surges that could crash their servers. Internal projections suggest this episode could shatter previous season premiere records, surpassing even the infamous episode that started this entire satirical war. Yet, as millions of viewers prepare to witness the cartoon chaos unfold, the Sussex camp remains publicly silent. No formal statements, no preemptive damage control articles, no friendly media allies firing defensive volleys, just tension. Thick, expensive, yacht-sized tension hanging over Montecito like California wildfire smoke. Behind the scenes, it's anything but calm. According to multiple well-placed industry sources, crisis management teams have quietly pitched counter-content to select media outlets. Think editorial pieces about cyberbullying in the digital age. Think analytical articles about satirical misogyny and carefully timed social media campaigns designed to shift narrative focus. None of these pitches have been greenlit yet. Editors, sources say, are increasingly wary of appearing too aligned with either side of this cultural battle. This isn't just celebrity gossip anymore, one prominent journalist explained. It's become a cultural referendum on fame, power, image management, and the democratization of satirical commentary. And that animated series just lit the fuse on a conversation nobody knows how to control. Even the couple's traditionally loyal inner circle seems uncertain about how to proceed.
Hey, thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
One longtime ally allegedly declined to appear on a scheduled podcast episode designed to spotlight entrepreneurial ventures, citing, quote, optics confusion and narrative complications. Another source claims Foundation staff members were explicitly told to avoid any cartoon-related references in official social media posts until further strategic notice. That institutional silence is being interpreted in countless different ways across the internet, but one thing remains absolutely certain. It's deafening in its implications. Now attention has turned completely toward the aftermath. If the episode delivers on its rumored promises, if it includes the alleged Diana reference, the Oprah satire, or direct commentary on recent commercial failures, what's left of the carefully constructed brand? Can lifestyle product lines survive a second viral skewering? Can anyone reclaim narrative control over stories that now exist primarily as memes and storyboard leaks? Some cultural commentators argue this might represent a genuine tipping point, that after this level of satirical treatment, the public won't be able to separate the cartoon versions from reality.
What happened to your ring?
I gave it to the working people.
We're the working people.
That satirical perception has fused so completely with public consciousness that recovery becomes virtually impossible. Others suggest that strategic silence, carefully maintained, might actually restore some degree of mystique and dignity. That refusing to engage with animated mockery could be the only path back to cultural relevance. But there's a third theory emerging, one that the satirical writers seem to be actively daring into existence. That this isn't about narrative reclamation at all. That the cultural moment has fundamentally moved beyond traditional celebrity rehabilitation. That satirical commentary has consumed the fairy tale entirely, leaving only fragments of what once was a duchess on a yacht, a prince clutching a bottle labeled validation, a legacy rewritten in 5-second clips and viral thread discussions. So what happens next? Do they strike back with legal action, maintain dignified silence, attempt another rebrand? or simply let the whole operation burn while they retreat from public life entirely. The next few days will tell us everything we need to know about the future of celebrity image management in the age of democratized satirical commentary. Because whatever happens next, one thing is absolutely certain. The internet will be watching, the memes will be flowing, and the cultural conversation will continue whether anyone officially participates or not. What do you think? Has animated satirical commentary officially ended the Sussex brand? Or will this somehow, against all odds, backfire in their favor? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like this video if it kept you engaged, subscribe for more cultural commentary, and stay tuned. Because the next video is already in production, and you definitely won't want to miss what's coming next.